welcome to another update of Berkvale. Don't know what number this is, it's 20 odd. I haven't done one for a long time. I expect you've all forgot my channel even exists. Basically, a lot of work's happened. Doesn't look like it, but I'll explain what's happened in a minute. So, basically the first thing, and it wasn't the first thing I did, but it's definitely the most major thing I've done, and certainly the most important thing I've done, is this station. The platform's here. It's been here for a considerable time now, but there's a bit of a change. If I come down to here, you may notice these two tracks here used to go all the way down in a dead straight line, and I was out a few weeks ago and I seen a load of flexi track for a good bargain, so I bought it and thought what I could do with it. Bought it for the sake of it. So I thought, right, I can sort my station out once and for all. So what I did is these used to be parallel all the way down, and the platform used to be in here where this orange marking. So what I did was got some flexi and went like that along to there, and ignore the point for now, all the way along to the end of the platform and back and around. And this outer line has stayed the same and it's dead straight all the way down. But doing that meant this line had to change as well, the far inner loop. So what happened there was I left this little chicane bit in and left it going in a straight line, because if you think that was the edge of the old platform, you didn't have to change at all. But what I did is, because these are now parallel, the middle and the inner line are parallel, I could put in a switch over for them there, and then all I did then at this end was put a bit of flexi in to go around. Obviously you'll notice the cork isn't under at all, because the cork used to run under the original tracks, but I was too lazy to take it up, and I think it'll also give the layout and ballast a bit of shape in when it's all laid. So the plan now is to put this platform in here, and then a second one which starts there with a station house on it, and around to there. So what that means is I'll have two platforms, basically, well three. I'll have platform 1 on this far outer line, 2 on the middle, 2 on the middle line. The most inner line won't have a platform, sadly, unless I move the signal box and carry the platform on a little bit to there, and I can put a DMU in. But this most inner line is designed for freight, and then the inner line, which is actually the feed into the shunting yard, will have a platform which will have a bridge across 3 tracks. Well, 2.5, because it will come across the point here to this platform. And that will be for DMUs and things that can come in, which can come off the innermost line, across, up, and back up into there. Or what they could do is go around that way, then there's a switch over right at the back. They could go down onto the inner line, come round on the inner line, and then go up in. And as you can see, I've got a HST. There's a HST up in there now, which would come out and stop at that platform. Although it wouldn't fit, it'd be more suited to the long platform here. So that's the first major change, which is the platform movement and the flexi track installs. Obviously what we are missing is the big interchange bit that used to be over here. You can see the cork where it all used to go. Because of the flexi track and where the platform ends, it's a bit hard to fit in. So that's why the switch over and things have been put in here. We've got one less track switch over though, which means I've got some spare points which can come in somewhere else. So I'm now going to go on to the second change. Well, the second change, which I've done this year, well, in the last few months on the railway, is I've tidied up all the grass, put the fence in, put some little signs, like that stop one, focus, there we go, like that stop one down there, because I know we'll put, focus, come on, because I will put like a little guided wood plank walkway across. I've also done some bits like this where I've put, this may have been in the previous update, I don't know, where I've put an old piece of rail with some grass growing on it, and a guy stood there doing something with it, and old bits of rails glued in the track. Because this main line isn't, in the ideal world, if this was realistic, this wouldn't be the highest kept main line, the highest nicely kept main line. It would be the scabby old 80s main line that would go between two scabby little tangs, and they wouldn't be very well looked after. That's kind of it. As you can see, there's a signal gone in there. Eventually that will be a dapole motorised one. Another thing that's happened back here is I've started to build this road up here. I think that might have been in an update, I don't know. That's going to be a gravel track basically, all the way down to, ignore that painted, all the way down to there where the track ends, and it will go into like a village road which will go around and loop around the village, or you can come around this triangle junction into the station car park. And now the major bit of this is the paper mache hill. So I've obviously, all this is done with plaster cloth, and underneath the plaster cloth is wood and bits of cardboard. And I found a quite efficient method is old bits of polystyrene, like packaging for computer monitors and things and televisions, cardboard and scrunched up newspaper, creates a good hillside with your paper mache at the top. I'm still going to go over this with plaster cloth just to give it a nice hard surface. This is, because you can see there is a bit of flex in that. I want it as hard as the plaster cloth, so I'll put I'll only do one layer of plaster cloth over the top. And I've got some trees which you might be able to see up in that corner, which are going to be put over there, and it's going to be a nice little valley drop into the town. However, on the other side it's almost a sheer rock face, and not even paper mache, it's just newspaper. It's going to be a sheer rock face like that, and I'm going to paint in whatever. Although I still haven't decided what's going to go in there, in that corner. I don't know whether to bring that hillside back down, or tunnel it, or something. You can see there's a bit of a back scene in there. I've just to test one, it's only up there with a bit of glue stick. It can easily be pulled off, just to see what it looks like. So that's the second major update. So our third major update is the shunting yard, once again, has changed. So as you can see, here's the platform area. So it comes off here, and it splits into two. So we've got the one there, which is almost a steam, water, fuel up, coal up area. There'll also be like a diesel fueling station there. And it splits into two again under there, which you might not be able to see. It comes out there. That's an express point in there, just to give it a nice dead straight run up there. That's a good, there will be a good shed over the top and everything, and a nice kind of loading yard for coal and freight. And it splits again here. We've got one line up here with a level crossing where all the trucks can enter up to the good yard. And we've also got this track up here which has the HST in at the moment. It's not going to be used for the HST, it's just going to be more of a good shed, or there may be a DMU shed or something. I did talk about having a nuclear flask crane in this little off branch here, but that's going to come in the next part of the major update. So let's go on to the next major update. There is a lot has happened, believe it or not. Seems odd for me to actually make some progress. So here's the fourth part. Ignore the organ. The fourth part of the major update, if I try and get in this gap, is here's the edge. There is the edge of the platform. You come down here, and there's the village. It's got this bank here. I'm going to put a piece of flexi track in here, or some pieces of flexi track, so that I can put a point like so. It'll probably be a Pico one though, like that. I can put a point in like that, or something like that, and bring a track off here and onto this newly added bit of baseboard, which is not very long. I need to put a bit more beam under there. Not very long, but newly added bit of baseboard. I had a bit of spare chipboard left. There's odd bits of paint on it, but that doesn't matter. So it's very sturdy, and that's underneath the monitor. And on there is going to be my dead straight siding. There's a piece of flex track and an old coach. It's going to be my nuclear flask siding with a crane at the end, some overgrown bushes all around it, a back scene covered in overgrown bushes, and I'll bring a road. It will come from nowhere off the edge of the board, come along like that and go around over, and it'll all be concreted, levelled up track for the flask siding to come in. And hopefully I'll buy a Barrett Rail Services plastic 7 twin pack or something to hold around my flasks. So that's that new major update. So that's what's going to be going in that part. And all in all, I can't think of anything else that has changed. It seems to all be the same. If I give you a quick overview looking back from here, the layout may look small. Believe me, it's taken a long time to get anywhere with it, but I am happy. As Graham says, if you're not happy with it, you've got to rip it up and do it again. So he's just redone his track work. That almost, well, Graham gave me the inspiration almost to, when I seen that flex track, I thought, right, Graham's layout's working after it's been redone, so I will. My main problem was I had huge gaps in between the rails, and they were big enough, they were like that. So almost, I reckon 4 or 5 mil, well less than that, 2 or 3 mil. So if you had a fairly decent train or something big with a lot of wheels like this Duchess up here, the front bogie would come off. And that's why you'd only ever see the Duchess mainly running on this outside loop, because that was the only perfect loop, really, that had no major flaws. The thing is, the ballast is a bit iffy in here, because a lot of it was ripped up. A lot of the ballast was taken up when I had to do this. I've got a load more ballast, so I will be putting that in. I'll be putting a finer grader in the front and weathering the ballast. As you can see, the ballast kind of doesn't stop, it just fizzles out and goes poof and just disappears. And there's bits of old messy ballast just left around, so I will tidy it all up. You should have seen that over there before it was tidied up. It was a tip. So that's my major update. Hope you enjoyed watching and seeing what I've actually done. A lot's actually happened. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. A bit more wiring needs to be done and a bit more scenery. I'll be getting there. Glad you've enjoyed watching this update. As you all say, bye for now. Goodbye, whatever you want to say. And I'm going to put a little bit of a running session on the end of this video. I don't expect you've seen the. I expect you want to see the trains run on this new bit. I don't expect anyone's seen the trains run for a while, so I'm going to actually, great idea. I'll leave the 37 on the front of those coaches. Anyway, I'll put running session on. Have a good weekend, guys.